they seem to taste better than the ones that you buy for $4.
Yeah, well, these were berries that they're not the wild ones. It was a domestic strain that.
Gerald had a bunch of them. Gerald, yeah. What was it? He's next to you or close to you there?
No, yeah, but yeah, he was right next to me. But actually, my other neighbor, Eileen, Harry, actually bought these raspberries and had her swath cut and put them in there. And I just, she just gave me a couple of, cutting or whatever roots, and I got, I don't know, maybe 20 foot, 2 rows. I mean, I didn't thin them out this year though. I didn't have time. I was doing other, there's only 25 hours in a day, so, but.
Yeah, Gerald had my kid dig out like a bunch of them, and we planted them around, or he planted them around. But they're all, coming up.
Were they wild?
They're half and half. They're not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
they go in late. They move.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. you gotta harness them.
Yeah.
I mean, they move. They not only shoot roots, they throw seeds. From the berry.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and you got to be pretty timely on it too.
Just someday down the trail they're popping just nice big ones. A couple days of
raspberries or? Oh, okay.
And it's pretty late for them too, isn't it?
No, I think it's mid-July.
Yeah, I believe I have to make sure that's the section.
That things are.
Yeah, I have to go back into the book there.
And then they're done by mid-August, I think.
Oh, they last that long?
I don't know exactly how long they last. But.
I have a question on this because
Okay.
he didn't identify the property as where the old station was.
Yep.
So did you want to address this during your?
Yeah, if I could,
Yeah.
just so
Did you just want the copies then?
Would you pass them out so everybody has one?
Oh, that's what I was like. Did
Yeah.
you want them passed out?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we think, or maybe should we wait and then I pass them on?
He didn't have an objection to his name being mentioned?
No.
Okay. Yeah, letter to you. I can pass them on, or I can pass them on when you rule.
It's good as pretty fall tonight, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, probably somewhere over the Pacific or the Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you brought that up.
The letter?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's got a fellow from East Bethel or North Branch down there, and they're some serious investors.
Good.
Great for the town.
You could put a sign up or he could probably put a sign up there at the trail.
Yep.
And I suppose you have to get the county permission for that.
It's a state highway too, so you need state and county.
Well, no, I can put it on the sewer line for.
On the trail.
If he's doing snow.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, on the trail.
Yeah, I guess I know several people that have come around my place looking for because they had a flat tire or broke down, looking for a place to either get a ride or.
I've been doing a lot of ATV and just I mean Kettle River, you can go anywhere. I was down at Sturgeon Lake today, and when people turn off the highway, there's just a whole band of signs there on 61. There should be a little arrow pointing at Todd's repair.
Yeah. I think that would help.
What's neat about it is the money that he's paying doubles what we're paying, so it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
actually, for his advertising with the lot right there, he could put, you know, the ATV snowmobile repair right off the boardwalk. That's where the boardwalk is. So there you go, George.
Which property are we talking about?
Where the old station used to be?
That doesn't include the garages there.
No, we know that.
Okay.
No, that's Mark's, Mark has an arrangement with the guy that owns the
I
garage.
think it's, his name is Wilson or something?
Yeah, Dennis, I think, or something.
Yeah.
No,
Where is he? Is he around here?
no, I know Mark's been trying to get a hold of the guy and has been unsuccessful. As
Mark who?
across the street there, the guy with
Peters.
Mark Peters.
Oh, okay.
Has been trying to get a hold of him, and the guy hasn't returned any calls or anything. So he doesn't know where to send the payments to. But this way, Todd and Mark get to work it out. You know, Todd can, that property ends at the back of the garage pretty much. So
Right.
Todd has that whole area. He wants to bring in a pre-built building, which will hook up utility and water right away. And also it'll raise the tax on that because it'll have a building on it.
Certainly.
So that's just, it's a big win for everybody. And, you know, technically it's kind of like in the city alley right now.
Business tax.
Yeah. Well, the business, having a business is a higher property tax than a house.
Yeah, commercial is.
Plus he's, you know, he's been there forever, 8 years, he's been doing the auto business. You know, it's somebody that's committed to the area.
Well, I'm kind of curious where this would fit into city business.
Is that going?
Yeah.
It probably shouldn't be. No.
Why?
The meeting hasn't started yet, and they're discussing things.
This is
before
a
the
public,
meeting. And you also have a quorum, and you're discussing.
oh, you're right, you're right. So we should not discuss this.
But that should
We
start
shut
in
it
the
off.
meeting.
I don't think so. It's
Yeah,
a public place.
There's private conversations going on with TV.
It's a public place. There's no private conversations in a public place. You should know that by being the privacy officer.
Should I go and plug it?
What's that?
Should I go and plug it?
Are we learning about that?
I'll just record it here.
I don't know why it's even necessary, why you go do half hour before a meeting
Well,
at all.
Well, if it's recording discussion of an open meeting then,
okay.
before it's called.
It's a
And
public,
that's-
it's a
that's
public place.
violation of open meeting law.
It's a public
But
place.
you have a quorum. You're
Then
discussing
we need to
city
just stop discussion. So,
Well, you tell me to stop talking?
no, we should stop discussion about public, or about city business, because the meeting's not open. Right? Isn't that what you're saying?
It's already been held, you've already violated open meeting laws.
Then it's recorded and
So so every time that all four of us or five of us sit here and we have that thing running, we have a discussion, that's when I open the meeting.
no, the
Yes, you have-
discussion is violating open meeting laws. Yeah, so we should not discuss anything about city business prior to the opening of the meeting, is what I'm understanding. Is that what you're saying? To comply with open meeting laws?
You shouldn't be recording before.
You're a public official.
So,
You're recording these
So,
meetings. You aren't
I am
recording
recording the
before
meetings.
and after.
As a public official.
and now we're talking about city business, so I think we should just stop the discussion at this point in order to comply with with state open meeting laws.
Dave, you gonna be here tonight?
Oh, okay. Cool.
Sorry if you're gonna sneak out there.
Oh, no problem.
We got Dave. How you doing, Chief?
Hanging in.
Oh, Kyle.
Good.
Fritz? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Evening.
Hi everyone.
Okay.
Hey.
Trey.
What's up, Trey?
Are you in the right building?
I am. It's air conditioned here.
Liquor license not up yet.
No.
No good.
Next Thursday?
Yeah.
That's our deal.
Yeah, I don't think so.
This Thursday?
Yeah. Let me double check that.
Be the 19th?
That sounds right. Yep. Did you get that list to Jenny?
Not yet. I'll see her tomorrow.
Okay.
Are there any other bills besides the around. Okay, thank you all for coming. Any guests tonight that want to partake? Okay. Once again, I don't consent to the minutes, so I'm removing it from the agenda, both the special meeting and council meeting minutes. So I'll look for a motion to approve items 2 and 3.
I'll make a motion to accept these two.
Okay, motion is made. Seconded. I had and maybe this should go underneath the, we'll just put it underneath the other part of the meeting, but, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. I would look for a motion on the minutes, if so desired. Motion is made,
I'll second it.
motion is seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Nay. Okay. Administration Department.
I'm still doing the motions.
Okay.
Okay, it's been a regular daily, weekly, and monthly work. Completed the minutes, the agendas, the payroll, financial reports, the bank reconciliation, customers, correspondence, elections, and started budget work. I submitted an OSHA grant application in the amount of $17,500 for the water tower repair project. The grant is a dollar-for-dollar match, so if approved, the funded amount would be $8,750. Per last month's council direction, I notified MSA and Northland Securities to move forward with the project. Anticipated project date is September, and the funding package is being correlated to the project date.
Okay. Anything from Northland as far as progress goes?
We're working on it. Everything should be done to be presented at the August meeting
August meeting.
for the resolutions, and then the project itself is supposed to start in September sometime.
Has have there been any banks or financial institutions that have been discussed as far as possible lenders?
Yes.
And who would that be?
They're contacting First National and Northview.
Gotcha. All right.
Would they give us the best rates, or would the bigger bank give us the better rate?
Well, the financial advisor would, talk to them about what rate they're giving us, and then they would decide if they felt that they went to a larger bank, if they get their rate, because they know what bonds are selling for.
Sure.
So they just usually start locally and see if they're.
That's why I was just wondering.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, usually historically, we've gotten pretty good rates from local banks.
And there's encouraging feedback from the lenders as far as what you got from Northland to proceed with the deal.
Yes,
Is
They-
it
all I-
look good? Does it look good for us to get funding?
oh yeah, we'll get funding.
Okay.
It's just what
All right.
percentage will, all I did was contact the financial advisor and told her, that you had decided on the amount and the terms,
Right.
the year, how many year loan we looked at.
When did you contact MSA?
I don't remember the date, it was right after the meeting.
Okay. I don't know if it's appropriate right here, but I'd like to discuss some things that I talked to I talked to Central Tank Services, and this was a week ago Friday, which was the 29th, I think, of June, so it was well after when we contacted MSA. And I talked to the gentleman over there. You got
These are the emails you copied, you know?
yeah, I copied Bernadine on the emails. As far as Central Tanks, you know, I talked to the owner, Kelly Keener, out of Iowa, and I said, you know, hey, you're the guys, you know, we went with you through MSA. Have you heard from MSA? And Kelly, the owner, said, no. In fact, I called him about a week ago to get, you know, some feedback, and he never heard from Brian Miller from MSA, who was the gentleman who supplied the letter and I guess is the lead from MSA on the project. And I found that a little curious that, you know, we're not wanting, you know, and I wanted to, basically the reason I called was I wanted to make sure that things were in motion so that we don't have to wait another year, because it is something that needs to happen this year, and I think we would all agree with that. Yes?
Basically, procedure is to work through the engineer. The reason that the engineer hadn't contacted me yet is they were waiting for Department of Health approval. Plans have to be approved there. So once everything is approved and reviewed, you know, the council moves, it goes to the engineer, they approve the plans, they get the documentation that's necessary, and then they send in a notice to proceed to the contractor. So it did cause a little bit of issue, you know, confusion, I should say. You reaching out to both the financial institution and the contractor.
I don't understand.
Well,
I
because
asked,
I started getting emails from them as to, you know, you mentioned a special meeting, they're wondering what was going on and how had things changed, you know, those.
right, and I asked you for an update, and you know, prior to this, I asked you for an update via email prior to this, and you basically said it's in process. I was like, you know, so I'm left in the dark again. I'm left in the dark again.
The council made a motion to move ahead. They told me to contact everybody. That was there. Under what authority did you contact other people?
Yeah.
Do I need authority?
You do, and you start doing it because it starts confusion.
Are you kidding? You're kidding me. So that the fact that I'm not only blamed by citizens in the community that it's my fault that the water's bad, but I'm trying to foster this process to go along, and I contacted the clerk and I asked her what's going on, and she gives me a one sentence, it's in process, you know, of something like that, and I'm like, I'm.
Well, George, maybe I'll explain it like this. You're the same as any council member there.
Yeah.
Oh, no
Well,
doubt.
how confused would it be if everyone did the same
Everyone
as
was
you?
called.
That's why the motion was for me to contact.
Yes.
That's why I was asking you for an update, and you basically just blew me off.
No, I did not. I told you
That
it was
is
in
not
progress. It's exactly what I just stated, too.
I said I would like specifics on what, you know,
But
what
we
has
don't
been going
know
on,
it all yet.
and that wasn't even said.
Yes, it was.
We
No,
don't know
it was a
the bond.
communication. It was a communication between me and Bernadine.
I copied Tina on
Oh,
You
okay.
sent it to me.
Oh, that's right. I did.
Yeah, you
my
did.
God.
I sent it to
see
you.
now
I know who you
this.
sent it to.
I sent it. I copied
Right.
copied you on it because I wanted to be somebody else to be aware.
And you know what? She didn't blow me off, George. I'm sorry to tell you. She didn't know any more at that point.
Well,
You
then I
wanted
asked.
specifics. Oh, how long? What's the rate? We don't know that.
Well, for one, we already know the bonding agency. Two, we already know what the terms are, or
We
not
don't.
the terms, we know how
How
many
many
years.
years?
We don't know the interest rate till they write the bond.
Correct.
They don't know the terms until they write the bond. They don't know any of the payment schedule, the fee associated with the bond until they write the bond. So you can't get this
You got all
information
the
until you get the
information
bond.
that she had.
You
Why
already
didn't she give it to me?
You already knew from last meeting.
She did it.
Well, there was a lot more information that I found out from Northland Securities when I called them, you know, that I was not aware of.
And it is
And I'd like to
not up to you to
I would
call these
like-
people. We put it in her hands.
I would like to know what's going on. And I don't know how else to do it because I'm stonewalled again by trying to get information and I'm basically not told anything. No, we're done with this conversation.
No, we're not. I want to hear what Regina has to say, and I can do that.
I
So
chair the
can she,
meeting.
and so
I
can she.
chair the
don't
meeting
care.
and
The council has every right to listen to what she has to say. Yes.
the council may have the right, but I chair the meeting. This is a meeting between us four at this
And
point.
she's actually given her report, so.
So,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So,
That's
carry
fine.
on, Bernadine, I would like to hear what you have to say.
You're out of order if you carry on.
Because you don't want an explanation.
No, because we're done with
That's
this
exactly what
conversation.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll just state that the project is moving ahead as planned, and your interference would be greatly appreciated if you discontinue it.
And I would have greatly appreciated, and I will, if I.
Every
if I
update will
would-
be brought to this council.
I would greatly appreciate updates when I ask for them.
I gave you what I knew.
Just trying to move the process along. We need a water
You
tower,
can't.
we need,
There are steps you have to go through, and we are following them
I
like we are
understand that.
supposed to.
And I'm trying to follow those steps
You're not, you're
I'm-
interfering, you're causing problems.
because I'm not being told what's going
Yes,
on.
you are. You know it's
I
not
am because you
correct.
say it is.
Hey, George, you're not.
You're out of order.
God.
You're out of
You're not
order.
God, George.
You're out of order and you're
I
not
don't
even.
really care, because I listened to you.
You're out of
all the
order,
time.
you need to stop, please.
No, I don't have
You're not,
to.
you're out of order, please, stop.
The only one out of order here is
Please.
you.
Please
You are
stop.
out of order.
Out of order. All right. What I was going to say is that MSA has not been very responsive either. They're not, you know, I didn't even bother trying to call them because of the problems that happened before, but I was kind of just surprised that the way things are going, that, yeah, I'm not aware of what's going on. So, anything else? In regards to administration?
Updates will be brought to the council, and as far as I'm aware of the council, I don't know when it's supposed to be proceeding, making the arrangements.
So,
Correct.
then okay.
So I have, you know, I guess I will contact them and just tell them, you know, to deal with me directly.
That's fine. What I would ask is that if I do ask
I'm done with my
for updates.
report, thank you.
What's that?
I said
What
I'm
I
done
would
with my
ask,
report, thank you.
you're welcome. What I would ask the council is to allow me
No,
to ask for updates on,
you can ask Bernadine.
yeah,
but
that's what
don't-
I'm saying, that's what I'm
You emailed
asking.
her, she gave you what
Let
she
me
needed.
finish my statement, let me finish my request before you say no.
Don't call these people.
What I would ask the council to do is allow me to ask Bernadine what is going on, so that I won't be asking questions where I shouldn't be asking questions, so that I will be up to speed on what's going on, so that we can make sure, so that I can be assured of what is going on. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I want.
And she tells you what she knows.
How about Bernadine?
And that's fine, that's fine. And I
An
know,
email from MSA, from Northland, from our water, people that are going to take care of the water tower. For George, there's no confusion.
or copy me, or something, I don't know, I just want to know what's
George.
going on.
So he can't say that he doesn't know what's going on.
That's fine, that's great, I like that. That's all I want to know is what's going on.
So if she doesn't forward you anything, I mean, she doesn't have anything, don't email her, keep continuously emailing her about specifics.
I
And
emailed,
don't be calling the people.
I emailed her once and asked her, and I haven't, because
And you weren't satisfied with your answer, so you called the people. Leave them alone so they can work on it.
we're talking about a lot of money for this city being outlaid. Number one, we spent $3,000 on the
I've
specs.
done my report.
You're out of,
Reports.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
The council is discussing this, okay?
I'm done with this. And I just
Well,
hope you don't
I
call
happen
these
to-
people or email them.
That's
if you
fine.
want.
But what we're dealing with is a lot of money that's being outlaid by the city. And I just want to make sure that it's properly spent. And MSA not responding is not something that I am used to as being of value. You know, we should be apprised, or I feel like I need to be apprised of what's going on. And at this point, until we have put in place a communication, and a lot of this is a communication issue. You know, most of like all of it, like you're discussing here, it's a communication issue, and that's all I'm asking for. So let me know what's going on. And the fact is that MSA is going to be charging thousands of dollars for their oversight of the project, and we don't even know what they're going to be doing. They estimate $15,000 in a one-sentence email, and we don't even know what they're going to be doing. Does anybody here know why we're spending $12,000–$15,000 on the MSA to oversee this project? They put the plans together, and that was
Drafting.
correct, and that was
Drafting is not cheap.
and the
Go
specs,
to any engineer and draft up a building or anything, see how much it's gonna cost.
right, and the specs are there, and Central Tank has gotten the specs, and so we can hold Central Tank to those specifications. So what is MSA going to provide from here on in for up to $15,000? Does anybody at this table know?
That's what their job was done.
What?
They've already pretty much done their job.
So they've done their job.
They did the specs,
So they did their done. Hold on, Bernie. Does anybody at this table know what MSA is going to do? For up to $15,000.
I just told you.
What? Give me
I
specifics.
just told you the specifics.
What? So, I'm just asking questions, and nobody at this table knows why we're
I
going to
just
spend
answered your question. And you
Yes,
talk over
and you
talking.
don't listen.
You talk
Repeat
over
it.
talking, I'm not gonna repeat myself.
No, why should you?
Well, it's on tape, so we'll
Listen
know.
to when you get
They
it.
drafted, did whatever, I didn't hear it. So, I just want to spend money properly, that's all I'm trying to say.
So the right way versus the half-ass way, I think I'd rather do the right way.
What's the right way?
Not just contacting anybody, any contractor, to this water tower.
Okay, then we're going to pay this engineer, and nobody at this table knows what they're going to do. And all that they've told us is in one sentence, they're going to oversee the project. Their fees are going to be up to $15,000, and we have no idea what that is going to know. We've got other places we can spend $15,000 without knowing what's going on, so doesn't seem to make sense to me. Anyway. Utilities Department.
Yeah, the report that I was distributed to you. Not much else new on it. Gonna have an issue with Kid Kasdan's water meter. It's not reading correctly.
Hey.
And Rob and I and Jerry have been banned from going into his residency to look at things.
Which property are we talking about?
It's the old tile. Yeah, the one being.
The tile?
Nobody is there.
The Magic Pottery?
Yeah.
Are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, the meter isn't reading correctly, so I don't know. But the last time you let Dwayne Grayson there do inspections, but you won't let anybody else in the city in there, so I don't know how
Who's Dwayne Graves again? I'm sorry.
that. Who's commercial inspector?
Okay. All right, has he let you in there before?
Previous, probably a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago, but since we had to see if he complied with the ordinance for his roof water, rainwater coming down into the sanitary, he will only let Dwayne come in there and inspect it. He won't let Rob and I go in there, or Jerry.
Okay.
So, suppose I could try a letter and see if he'll do that, let me in there this time, if he's changed his tune or not, but I don't know.
What is the problem with it?
I mean, if the gun, it's only reading,
Do you think you might have disconnected it?
either that or he hit it with a hammer or something. He does some strange things sometimes.
It is city property, right?
No, it's his property.
Well,
He'll have to pay for the
Oh.
repairs for the one. But I mean, it's on his property, so I can't just go in there.
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's in the ordinances that you can, and so, but you still need permission to enter the property from the property owner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that-
get a court order.
Right, exactly.
We'll try a letter first of all, if not, then we'll have to go, don't want to spend any money if we don't need to, but.
Send it, I would ask you to send it certified.
Okay.
Return receipt, all that kind of good stuff, so that we know he's gotten it. Yeah. You know, the fact is that if the fact that he's apparently living there is in violation of our ordinances too. You know, we can't live in a commercial property.
The only other thing I had is that Rob and I have to do our compliance inspection follow-up to see if anybody's cleaned up their mess yet. And I did notify the county, there's some curb and gutter, particularly the gutter down County Road 12 west of the locker plant, that the water is worn all out, it's about 4 inches deep, so it painted it orange, someone needs to step in and sprain an ankle, so they're aware of it, that has to be repaired, but with all the flooding they had on the eastern side of the county there. So
It's on 12?
Yep.
This side of the bridge?
Yep.
On, what, north side?
Westfall Main. North side.
The westbound.
North side, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh. All right, okay, anything else, Dave?
No, just so as Lampert's continues to get bags of asphalt repaired, Jerry and I will keep working on piles around, and we've gone through 18 bags already this year, so.
And was that the one by the church there? Is that the?
That street, yeah, the
Yeah,
whole street. In the intersection, and on the east end, and there's some on First Avenue South, I got 3 bags left, I can fix those up, so.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, it's a constant struggle with that. It's not getting any better, especially with all these rains that we have. Man, let me ask you what you're referring to at first time.
There's some people that are helping Kenny get some stuff out of there. They've already gotten a couple of truckloads, and she has a rapport with them to help maybe deliver a message as opposed to, you know, we can make it a nice situation instead of making it a bad situation. He's going through some personal health issues.
I understand that.
So
We all have issues.
it would be nice to just do it in a nicer way than.
Okay, Dave, permanganate pump. What's the update on that?
They're bringing me some new line, and before I get that set up, I need that Tonka to come up and cut that filter. And they're still in the works about when they're coming up.
And when is Tonka gonna come to pump?
We're in the works on that.
What's that?
We're in the works on that. It could be a week, it could be 3 to 4 weeks. Depends on their schedule.
Okay, because I look back in the records and this pump, you know, we spent over $1,000 on it, and that was over a year ago.
Yeah.
And we need to get that thing, you know, working so that it'll help the water quality. You know, and I've been hearing, you know, next week, next month, to get that done. Back to the compliance letters and such like that, did you send out a letter to the county in regards to their violations of the city ordinances on the property that's just north of on Cedar Street?
We'll have to check with Diane and see what she's sending out to.
Well, I know I got my letter.
I don't have a list
Did
of,
you,
I don't have a list of her.
well, you guys put together the list.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Yeah. It was on the list sheet that went.
Okay, good, thank you, I appreciate it. I noticed Lambert's Ridge Cap light or something like that, or Ridge Cap, first of all, is that on
Legion building.
the Legion building? Okay. That was installed?
No, I have to cut it up in pieces and then, because the original ridge cap, they didn't lap it only a half an inch, and I was up there, Dale volunteered to help me. We put new foam underneath to seal it, and we resealed and recaulked it, but it held until that real heavy rains and it leaked again. So the only thing is they don't make that wide of a ridge anymore, is to use the ridge lay one and then cut pieces and put over the splices and caulk it all up, so hopefully we keep the water out. That's the only thing I think of, so at this point.
I gotcha. And what are these polycarbonate ridge lamps or whatever they are? I saw on the Lambert's bill, what is a polycarb?
That's that ridge. They don't make it metal anymore, so it's gotta be,
Oh, okay.
it's clear plastic.
I gotcha.
To get that width of a ridge, it doesn't come
Will
with steel
that
anymore.
extend it?
It'll just cover the seam, so there's, there's 7.5 inch, well, 10 inches on either side,
Oh,
caulk it up,
good.
so it should seal it up there, so.
Good.
Good.
It didn't hold water until the torrential downpours came in that leak.
Yeah.
And we seem to be getting a lot of those.
Yes, that's all it does.
All right.
Ponds are in good shape?
Was that it?
Ponds are in good shape?
Yeah, I've gotta get the weeds sprayed on those and get that cleaned up. I'm having a train in October from rural water's coming over yet, I think. And I wanna get it looking better, and then I got a polycarbonate letter from my NPCA too saying they want the weeds down, so.
Is that Kurt from Rural Water?
Well, it'll be whoever takes over Frank's job. Kurt's on the water side.
Oh, okay.
Just for everybody's information, the dock is in the river again too, so if anybody wants to go fishing.
Good.
Or Finley.
All right. Well, I noticed a bunch of labs that were drawn. Everything was within the acceptable ranges.
Yeah, the fluoride pump that started losing, lost prime. So I had to tighten up all the fittings, and I did order new heads for them too, because they're just aging and stuff like that, so I would have backup, so they wouldn't, so we could keep it within the limits we're supposed to be at too, so.
So you said all the labs were within the limits?
Except for the fluoride was low.
Fluoride was low. Okay.
It tested okay on mine, so I don't know if it was a 5 or 6 thing, so. If
Yeah.
I noticed it wasn't pumping as much, so it probably was, so.
Okay. All right. All the lawnmowers working well? We just have the one, right?
We got the 2,
Two?
yeah. A 0 turn and a tractor with a 48-inch cut.
A lot of hours on those these days. No rain.
With, next to the sewer line there, that place where the trailer's parked, is that county or is that city?
That's, I think that's county right away. Gadsden's old trailer there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all that's county?
yeah, I believe that's right away up there, yeah. I think it was 120 foot right away or something like that on there.
Where are we talking? Right on Cedar Street North? Are you talking?
West on the grade, north of the grade.
North of the grade on...
By Morgan Eats' garage, right between there.
Between the sewer line and Yates' place. Nobody's over
Oh, okay.
that swath of grass.
It's nice and warm. Okay. I thought, yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else for Dave? All right. Kyle, you're up.
Okay, we had, in the month of June, 4 fire calls and 5 medical calls. Nothing so far for July. Knocking on wood. Just keep it that way. We had 3 that went to the MSOP training in Moose Lake. It was really good training. I've never been in there on that side, so it was interesting to see it. And it was real good training. They had lots of victims, if you will. They were employees. They were all lodged up with burns and pretty cool. We have Cameron Swanson, one of our newer firefighters. He is currently at Camp Ripley right now, going through his firefighter 1 and 2 final training. I think he comes home Friday, and he should be certified. That's the fast track.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah. I talked to him today. He's crispy at this point. He's ready to go home. I don't blame him. It's 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day.
Oh, wow.
So they're.
So it's a rigorous
It's
thing.
yeah,
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
a full week of very intense training, but at the end, he'll be good to go. We have a new member that we'd like to hire that George and I interviewed, John Lingle. And so I believe we need a motion, correct, for that to
Yeah.
happen?
We'll put that under new business.
I'm looking at doing firefighter oaths in front of the city council starting next month for the new members. Are you guys okay with that?
What are we doing?
It's just an oath as a firefighter, like to join the department, and it gives you guys an opportunity to meet the new firefighters if you haven't met them, and it gives the firefighters a chance to meet you guys as well. And I think it's just a nice little ceremony. It's short, sweet, to the point, but it's just a little something where you get to meet them, shake their hands, that kind of thing. Okay. So if I get it together by August, I will make sure Brady puts that on the agenda so we can do that.
So that would be for the ones who completed firefighter 1, or?
I was thinking for well, I don't know, I was thinking of just the new guys, really, just whether or not they completed the training.
Okay.
So you just give the council an opportunity to meet them.
So that would be 3 at this point?
I would think, yeah, Cameron, Devin, and John, so.
Sure. We'll put them at the top of the agenda
Okay.
as guests.
And we're getting ready for our mom and pa and for National Night Out, so. If you've seen the fire hall, you can tell we're getting ready for it.
Okay, so you getting the word out?
The word's out,
Okay.
absolutely. For mom and pa,
Yeah, well, for the steak fry.
mom and pa committee's advertising the heck out of it for us.
Okay.
So we're prepared for an influx.
All right. Good.
And that's all I have.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Why is that dumb siren going off at all hours of the night?
Okay.
If a tornado
Right.
ever came, I wouldn't believe
You
it.
won't believe that.
No.
I hear it.
It's all
I don't know what's set
hours
around.
of the night and the day.
I talked to dispatch, they're not the ones
They're
setting
not
off.
doing it,
They are completely unaware that it's going off, even when it is going off.
but how can it go off without someone saying
I
it?
don't know.
Without them into dispatch.
Yeah, they've not claimed responsibility. I called once when it was going off, saying, why is our storm siren going off? And they're like, it is. We have no
Oh
idea.
my gosh.
Does that go to the weather service or does that go to the?
I think the county sets that off as well.
I think so.
I believe so. Yeah. And every time I ask the county about it, they push back on, like, well, you need to check with the city or whoever operates the siren because it's not us. Well, I don't,
Is there something wrong with our phone or?
Dave,
Is there
Dave,
something?
do we have any ability to set that siren off?
No, not that one.
Does-
That's all radio control.
would it be just like a false page or something, maybe? Some signal hits it,
Some signal hits it, I think.
That is just crazy.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's nobody within the city authority that has anything to do with that siren going off, unless there's somebody else that knows something more, that's what I'm hearing. So, and I've heard from more than one person, and even the ones that don't live close to there, that siren maybe has outlived its usefulness. I was there one day, and maybe some people don't like to hear it, but I was there one day when we were out actually doing the Rick Peterson sign deal, and it went off. It was a Wednesday night, 7 o'clock around. That thing is dangerously loud. So maybe we do need to rethink that. I don't know. I don't live on that side of town, but those people on that side of town really get the brunt of that. And, I can understand the frustration. Just saying. Anything else?
How many people went on those fire calls, those 4 or 5?
I can get you that information, that's for sure.
Is
I
it
have it
more-
recorded.
Is it more since they started,
Oh.
getting a paycheck, or? is
I
it-
don't know, you know, 2 of them was out, just outside of town here, that house fire, that everybody heard about. The daytime call, the 3.5-hour call, we had 1 guy. And then when it rekindled that night, we had 5. So,
So daytime is still a problem.
that's why we auto-lead with
Mhm.
Moose Lake,
You know,
because they have the same problem during the daytime.
Yeah.
It's just not a lot of guys.
you know. All right. Anything else for building department?
No, not too much going on, all the roofs are done,
Yeah, they did a very good job.
That's it.
Okay. City council. Okay. Committees.
I have a question for the personnel committee. Is there any finalization on the allegations of harassment? Are we done with that? What's happening? Just need an update.
I talked to Bernadine about that past month. Did you ever contact the lawyer and see what he had to say? Do we have to vote on it, or do we have to
They didn't contact me.
write it? See what's going on next on that.
I know it was tabled until George could review the paperwork. I'm sure you had time to do so.
I did.
Okay.
So what I'm seeing, from what I read from the allegations, there's basically, the only pertinent information that would be here would be from Bernadine's testimony about what happened that was harassment, you know, and her version versus my version, or, you know, he said, she said, my word against hers. So I was wondering there has been no
So you.
physical, no, let me finish, please. There's been no physical evidence of verifiable kind that has been presented to the council that I can see, except for her testimony and my testimony, and they differ in their substance. So the other testimonials that you have from, you know, Mayor Goodwin that says she's a great employee, and Kyle, and other things of testimonial about, you know, what a bad person I am and what a good person she is, are irrelevant as far as I can see. I don't see any facts that support the allegations of harassment at this point.
I guess you telling people in the community that she needs to go, she's taking money, that's not harassment?
That did not happen. That did not happen. I read, and that was from Todd, who said, that's the only one I saw. That's the only one I saw that was presented to me. Is there other evidence that?
Should all be in there.
It's all in there, but.
Yeah, email. And I personally interviewed that person.
Who was that?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, no, you know, you have to.
I don't have to.
Then,
She wants to be kept anonymous. The person wants to be kept anonymous.
Then you could be making it up. It's innuendo.
No,
it's
it's not.
well, then
Innuendo.
it's no.
The person wants to be kept anonymous.
If somebody doesn't come forward with their testimony, you know,
It's because they don't want to have backlash from you, George. That's why they want to be kept anonymous.
Then they should just not say anything.
If
If that's their fear, if that's their fear.
So anybody that's being harassed, be kept, that wants to be kept anonymous, should
Well,
they just
no,
not
it's
push aside and don't
because
care?
what's happening here is that you're taking, that's a spear in the jungle. You know, that's coming from nowhere. It could be you made it up.
Oh, yes, I made that one. No, George.
After the abuse that I've had from you, sitting here yelling at me at the table about how I'm such a bad person that I should believe that you're not going to conflate or inflate testimony from another person.
I'd like to see where I said you were a bad person. I never said that. I've just always argued against what you're doing.
That's fine.
And arguing with you or having a discussion with you does not make me tell you that you're a bad person.
What you're saying here is accusing me of being intimidating to somebody.
Yeah, that's what the person said. Yeah.
Well, how? In what way?
And that's what Bernadine feels as well.
In what way am I intimidating? Please tell me. What did I do to intimidate? Please.
It's all in that paperwork.
No,
that I gave
well,
you.
I don't see anything that here that.
Of course you don't see
intimidation.
it.
Well, then explain it to me. I'm not
It's
that
all written
smart.
down.
I'm not that
It's
smart.
all written down, George. It's all laid out for you right there.
I can't control how other people feel about things. All I can do is control how I behave. And if I behaved improperly, tell me which way that I did.
We've tried.
We've tried to.
Tell me what did I do?
Constant harassment on.
What did I do?
Even tonight.
Give me one. Well, like what did I do tonight that was harassment?
She was trying to tell you what was going on, and you shut her down.
I run the meeting. That's part of running the meeting. That I preside over the meeting and I do.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah, it is. No, right. I agree.
The harassment is not.
I just am wanting, I think there should be a closure on this, whatever's gonna happen should happen.
Well then, I believe we should do a vote then.
Of what?
A vote on the evidence that was presented to the council at that special meeting. And too bad, Jason is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just say that we're ganging up on you. Because Jason also thought that you were harassing Bernadine.
Where was that?
Where was that?
He
He said it right there at the end
At
of
the
the meeting.
special meeting.
End of the meeting.
Mhm.
He also admitted to that there is.
All
He
due
said
that tape, because I didn't hear that, because I'll have to review the tape.
Some harassment. But any harassment is harassment. It doesn't matter if it's some, 1, 5, 10. Harassment is harassment. If you do it one time, you know, in Bernadine, once it's investigated, the personnel committee has to investigate.
You know, the lawyer called me about when he got back from vacation. I don't know when it was, because I had a call into him as well about what's going on. And he said that the city needs to definitely protect themselves and do some due diligence on investigating to prevent any downside liability to the issue if things were to come back. But I asked him at that point, what authority does the council have over another elected official, one of their colleagues? He goes, that's a good question. Not to be, he doesn't know. So anything you guys come up with is.
And I told you that at the special meeting.
So go ahead.
So how is that?
Let's get closure on this, so we can move on. All right. Do what you're going to do, and make a motion or whatever you're going to do, and let's get going. All right, so we can get out of here.
I make a motion to the harassment of Bernadine. Investigation of harassment against George Glassman there. So, vote whether he did or not.
Motion is made.
What's the last one you said?
What's that?
Whether he did or not, the motion, whether the council feels he did or did not.
So that's the motion.
According to the evidence provided by the personnel committee.
Yeah, I first. For second. Is that right?
Motion is made and seconded.
Oh.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? I think it's a kangaroo court here. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Nay. All right. Old business. Quotes for playground repair. Nothing? Nope. All right. Carlton County land purchase.
No, I have one.
So what, there's a request for council action here.
County proposed those three parcels.
And the total.
And a total for $1247.95. I make a motion to accept the county's offer.
I'll second.
That's all something? For those 3 lots?
Motion's made and seconded. All right, so it's 2 parcels of land. It's the old school site.
Three parcels.
Three parcels. The old school site, the little, I think it's a 50-foot lot next to it. It's got a, is there still a couple of structures on there?
No.
No? All right, it's empty. And the old gas station. Number one, I'm looking at these properties that have been basically sitting for sale for years, essentially. The Olsons couldn't get rid of that property. There's been some monitoring wells that have been on that property. One, the old gas station I'm referring to, there's been many yards of dirt that have been hauled out, contaminated by the leaking underground storage tank from the gasoline, and refilled with backfill, clean fill. Has there been any environmental assessment of this property?
The county said that they did that it's cleared for
Is
purchase.
there any documentation to that?
Would be with the county papers. I'm sure it'll be done with the closing, right, Brittany?
Yeah, I also have a binder in the office, all the reports and on that property.
Can we see that?
You can't, can you technically sell a piece of property that has
No.
contamination on it?
You can, and the council, why would the council do that?
What's that? What was the question?
What, if somebody could sell a piece of property that has contamination on it? I don't think it
County wouldn't be allowed.
no.
The fact remains is that it's suspect for contamination because it's got a history there, and the station has as I said, been this is from 2009. Well, there was some wells out there as early as last year. Is there any drawing or samples taken?
I would have to pull files and it would take longer than
See,
a council meeting.
Right.
So the next meeting will bring us.
Okay,
No, but
well-
everything has been cleared, everything's been released. The county stated, even when Gary Peterson was here, that it was a clear title.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we already have,
Wells have been sealed. Wells are done.
Hey, could I have a point of order with the councilman when you introduce it, that it's for the economic development that we're giving the land, not just giving the land, but it's for the economic development.
Certainly, that is the goal here. It's on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission, in which you are the chair of. So it's for economic development. On the face of it, $1,200 for 2 properties. Three properties, I'm sorry.
2 commercial, 1 residential.
Looks pretty good as far as, just the numbers go. As I say, this property, the old station, has been for sale through the county. Greg Bernew has, for a long time, and has not been sold. What?
What was the board asking, how much?
Well, the appraised value, I don't know. It would be like a land auction. I'd have to talk to Greg Bernew.
Jeff, you would know, you're in real estate, aren't you? Do you have any idea?
I think the one on the end last time, it was right around 10,000.
Don't know the one here,
The one that,
where the old station was.
Yeah, it's been a little while now. So,
Was it at 10,000 they wanted, the county wanted to sell
The
it?
one on the end,
The one on the old school
the station, I
site.
don't know what that one was at the last time there.
Okay.
I guess a friendly suggestion is if you're concerned about environmentals, just make it subject to reviewing those before closing, so that way you make sure that it's being built out. With my understanding, I think, Todd, you're correct, it should be clean.
yeah, I can't sell the property.
Okay, that would be one concern, but what my other concern is that we've already got, as a city, and I would ask you guys just to listen to the reasoning that I have, put down your swords a little bit, because you know, it sounds like a good deal, but this land doesn't move. That land has not moved. Ricky Lewis lost the old school property to taxes. He was able, I believe that whole square was his, and Maya and Leno's bought for development there, if I'm not mistaken, from Ricky. But these properties don't move, you know, and if there were some, you'll have your chance. If there were some opportunities for commercial development, we would have already seen it by this time, because we have 22 acres just south of town, behind the county garage, starting that would be along the commercial boulevard. We could provide utilities to them at a relatively, you know, reasonable cost if there was somebody that was interested. We've got property east of town that has about 100-foot frontage on 12. There's a property north of town that Koivistos own that is right in our wheelhouse for development, but nothing moves around here. And we would be adding another approximately 1.5 acres, maybe a little bit more, to mowing. You know, that would be more hours on the machine, more hours of wage for I foresee years on end. So I'm going to vote against this. You know, and I'm hoping you guys will see that this is not a good decision to be made. You know, I mean, even though Todd's that you've done a lot of work with it, you know, and I appreciate the effort. It's just not, I believe, a good business decision. Go ahead, Todd.
Thank you. The properties we're buying are 3 properties, 2 commercial, 1 residential, for $1,200 and change. We already have a commitment from a business that's been in town here for several years, and that's Automotive Diagnostic Services. It's owned by Todd Morgan. He runs his business right over there. He wants to expand it. He has some investor friends also from North Branch that are interested in coming up and going into the ATV and snowmobile trails. Now our snowmobile repair. We've been working for a long time on the development plan of the city to get more tourists up here, to start getting that trail, getting some action on it. Having somebody that fixes ATVs and snowmobiles is going to help go a long way with helping with that. So right away, he's made a commitment here to buy the land. Buy it for twice of what we're paying for, over twice of what we're paying for all 3 properties. So that's one of those off the shelf there that isn't going to sit there for 20 years, George. He'll mow it right away. Within a year, he'll hook up water and put a building on the place. Now, you know, it may be one of those portable buildings, you know, whatever, to start with, but it's still, it puts money on the tax rolls. Right now, they're not making a dime. It's a water hookup, so that's going to lower the water bill, 10 cents maybe, but it's going down, not going up. And that's 1 property off. And you list these other properties around. This is Main Street. This is downtown. When you have an auto repair and you have an ATV place, you want to have it downtown. That's, our downtown is right here by the trail. We start filling up Main Street down here, we'll fill up those other areas out there because people will start coming here. Also, the purchase price, like I said, is $1,800 more, $1,750 of what we're paying for everything. So the city's already making a $1,700 profit. We have land on tax roll. We have the water going down. Just a real estate guy, when you get a business like that, that corner property now becomes more attractive, doesn't it?
It could.
Yeah.
I think you have to be careful what you put in there for a business, because it sets the whole theme for the whole town as well. So we need to,
exactly.
the city has to keep that in mind as well, and sort of what kind of.
We're aiming at a convenience gas station type of place. When people come into town, they know they got fuel, they can get a snack, slows them down where they can see the rest of the town. Hopefully, you know, we'll bring other business here. But that's kind of what we're aiming for there. The other property is a commercial, or is a residential property. Now there, if you had a modular home that could be put in there, it'd be great for a young couple to start a family. It could be, you know, sold cheap, let's get some young folks in here. And they're not gonna sit there for 20 years. But the one lot, the residential lot surrounded in trees, there's no grass that grows on it. The other lot is the only one that's gonna be mowed because Todd Morgan is gonna be able to mow his own lot.
So are you selling this land or are we selling?
We,
I mean, I'm confused here. You got a buyer and we don't even have it yet.
Right, well, that's what the planning and
But
zoning.
don't we put it up for sale and maybe
No,
get more than it's worth?
no, the reason that the county gave us the land was for our economic development, to take and put in.
Basically,
So you get to pick and choose what goes there? Council has nothing to do with it or?
No, we want businesses, if you guys don't
Yeah, I
have a
get that.
business.
I get that, but
Yeah.
we don't have it, so we don't even
Well, I'm just saying, when you buy,
advertise people to come and, I don't know, I think you're putting the cart before the horse.
okay, well, the idea was.
In my opinion, I don't know.
Does Todd even know what property we're talking about? Because there is
Yeah,
another
he
property.
wrote the letter, this is from.
Yeah, but it doesn't say what property, purchase the property, because there's a thin
He
strip.
knows the garage belongs to another party, and he knows the plot of the land, I showed him that, where the land goes. He's an intelligent young man, he knows.
No, I'm just asking questions, I'm not questioning his intelligence at all, I'm just trying to get clear what we're talking about here.
And he's aware of the property boundaries, Judge. This isn't being sold here to him today anyway, this is just getting the land from the county. And your argument was that we don't know what we're gonna do with the land. So here's one example, you know, that it's not gonna sit for 20 years.
Right.
And Councilwoman Miller thinks that, you know, there'll be an auction for people coming to buy the land.
I'm just wondering.
Right, well, there may be more people.
I didn't know it was for sale.
There may be more people interested, but, you know, hey, Kettle River's got cheap land to take and build if you want to take and go into business. That's a great deal. Other people might jump on it. I just think that guy that's been in business here for 8 years in our city and, you know,
I
he
didn't know
deserves
that
a first shot.
I didn't know that is he a licensed business in town here?
Yeah, it's automotive diagnostic services. It's been in business. We don't have business licenses per se, other than the bar.
Well, is he, you know, but he still needs to collect taxes and you know.
I'm not an accountant, George.
So I wasn't aware that we had a business in town and you know.
Well, that's his letter, it speaks for itself. It's right there.
Right.
It says, I'll expand my business of auto repair, ATVs, and recreation business. I will also change my business name, which is, you know, my business name.
He's that zone residential over.
No, it's zone commercial, George.
No, where he has apparently he has his business.
That's commercial still.
commercial.
That's commercial?
Yep.
Morgan's is commercial?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. All right. Well, why doesn't he just buy it from the county?
Yeah, the county isn't trying to sell our land. They've already ruled that because of no gas station, it's, you know,
It's not our.
they want to take and just get it off their things. They can give it away, well, they can give it to you, and then it can be permanently a park. Nothing can expand there for, you know, forever. If it goes to a nonprofit agency like Mom Pa Kettle, it can never be sold for a business. All it can be is a park. You know, we're sitting here dying for money, and we're gonna pass on land that we can take and put economic stimulus into the town. Yeah, this is a no-brainer. We already have a commitment for $3,000, $1,750 more than what we're paying for the other lots. So we're basically getting the other 2 lots, we're getting paid $1,750 to get 2 pieces of property.
My question is why doesn't he just buy the property from why does he want to pay us as middlemen? and not
He's
just go
getting
right
it
to
from
the
us
county.
for 3,000. County has to sell it for what the land value is, which is, it's actually like, I believe from what I remember looking at it, $12,000. They had the house property listed at 40, but the house has been removed. But those are what the property values are on the plat map, so.
Really?
As you say yourself, why would somebody go and pay, full amount, this land and sit there forever? Well, here a guy gets a chance for $3,000 to take and better his.
I've talked to Greg Bernoulli, who's the, I'm sure you have too.
He's the one that wrote the amounts.
Well, yep, and he's very motivated to get rid of properties. It's not by mistake that we have more county-owned properties in this city than the rest of the county. There's no other,
Right, but
there's no other
this isn't the
municipality.
give me land. This is, we're buying the land where we
I
can do
understand.
something with it.
Please, Todd, let me finish. Things don't move in this town is what it is, and certainly maybe we have a verbal and a written commitment from, that's not legally binding by any stretch of the imagination, that, it's something that, as Chris said, that maybe a little bit cart before the horse type of arrangement, and that would take care of one of the properties, but the other two properties are, betting on the come,
It takes salesmanship to take and do it. That's what it takes. That comes from the mayor, city council people, everybody that's in a position of authority in this room, anybody that lives in this town has to take and sell our town. Not talk about how bad things are, how terrible things are, how screwed up things are, but how we want to make it better. And if you don't want to make it better, you shouldn't be sitting here, George.
Then replace me, and then that's fine, but the voters put me here, and I'll be doing it as long as they put me here. So, that's fine, and we've got this property that's somewhat spoken for. I've talked to, regarding the old school property, I've talked to a couple of people about that school property, and it burned down before I got here, but apparently, instead of carting out and disposing of a lot of the debris on the site after the fire, it was just thrown into the basement, filled in, and then sodded over. So, there's some question as far as the integrity of that site as well.
The fire from 100 years ago, you're saying?
No, it's in the
No, it's like a
80s.
school burn.
It's over it.
School fire.
So,
When did that happen?
Thirty years ago.
Did it say?
I just don't think it's a good idea, so, if anybody else got anything,
It just,
let's
debris,
move on.
it's construction, nothing all over.
No.
So, the motion's been made and seconded, correct? Yeah. So, motion is basically what, to purchase these two properties.
Three properties.
Three properties, whatever. Two of them are adjacent to buddy properties. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Nay. Okay. Change of date for the August meeting, the primary election. So that's 14th was the original date, so the primary for statewide. So I don't know what my schedule is. I will soon.
Either the 7th or the 21st.
Not the 7th.
No, that's true, that's
That's not hard.
That's national night.
Is the
Yeah,
national night out the 2nd?
the set, the
7th?
7th.
Isn't it? I don't know.
Oh, Tuesday.
First Tuesday of the
Yeah.
month. First Tuesday.
21st, 28th it is. And we got a budget meeting in the waiting rooms of that as well, correct?
Can we, when is the
start in August, we have our meeting in regards to the budget, and we usually have a separate one because it
Correct.
goes long.
Right.
So, okay, our regular meeting would be on the 14th.
Monday the 13th. I'm not available.
Which is easiest, would you have, I mean, like later in the week after the 14th, let's say the 15th, is everything would be, how is that for anybody?
I can't.
You can't do the 15th, what about the 16th?
Like I
It's
said,
Thursday, I don't know. I'm okay on Thursday.
not knowing what the date of the meeting was, I have no idea what my schedule is. It's only goes out a month. So it's coming out, came out yesterday. So it's kind of a hit or miss with me, maybe trade.
Do you want to wait and go into the following week, or
Doesn't matter to me.
doesn't really matter to me either?
Doesn't matter to me except for Wednesday.
Don't pick a day, any day.
Following Tuesday, the 21st, and then have a budget meeting on the 28th. Following week after that. And it's in September.
You know, like I say, I don't know what my schedule is out there. You know, I could have put in for a request for a day off, but I didn't know what day to put in for request. I can't put in whatever. I could probably trade, but I can pretty much trade, I guess. But so just whatever's good for you guys, pick and see what I can do.
16? Thursday?
Yeah.
Or you do the 13th, which is a Monday.
Not that Monday.
16th, let's do 16th, 7 o'clock. Budget meeting, do we want to wait till the very last of the month, or,
The 28th.
yeah, do we, I mean,
Doesn't matter to me.
We can wait till the 28th to do the budget meeting. Tuesday.
okay,
Do we do that one earlier?
Yeah.
Do we do that at 6?
yeah, usually.
We're gonna be,
16th at 7, and the budget 28, did you say 28?
20.
Everybody agree? 28th at 6.
That one might be over.
Are you the ninth or?
Sometimes.
Oh, it will. Yeah. Oh,
So,
Okay.
so you say 16th and the 28th?
that's 26.
All right, so, motion second, whatever, here we go.
Yeah, that was done.
Oh, we did make a motion? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember.
John Lingle,
Oh, no, we have to make a motion for the meeting
Oh, we do?
changes, don't we?
Oh.
right, that's.
I make
Oh,
the
I was
motion.
reading on the Lance.
I
I make the motion.
second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. John aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Mr. Dodseth, do you have anything that you wanna give?
Just an observer tonight, thanks, as you're aware, I'm from State House, I'm the state mine director on more of the issues that are around. There's positive things going on in town.
Sounds good. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, could I make a suggestion? You know, what you said is a very good point. Maybe when the planning and zoning, they could take an interview, anybody that's interested in
I
properties.
think it would go for sale or something.
Pardon me?
Put it up for sale. Or a notice even, something, just make it fair.
Well,
I think it
now
was
we
just
can
saying-
do that.
I was just thinking what he was doing is, he already had,
Oh, it's a good idea, I'm not saying that, it's just pretty unfair if somebody comes and just buys it and no one else knew
No,
that it's for sale.
I agree with you on that, and he already has a commitment, so we
Right,
don't,
which is
so there's,
great.
you know. if-
We're making money already.
Yeah.
That was the main point.
That's awesome.
That would be good,
So-
that'd be good.
We know that he's interested, so.
I know that he's interested, that's.
How long does it take for the transfer?
Look for a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Made, seconded. Any further discussion, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries.
Yeah.
No, I'm just here. I do it.
That's under the agenda, right?
That's one of those.
Yeah. Between the that's a good. Morgan and I went to, Morgan and I went to the Kiwanis meeting. Morgan did present.
See what happened? Oh,
I think we're gonna
she
have-
says to me, I'm not 3/4 of the way to work, she says to me, picture, this is bad, right? And you can see the whole drive shaft just laying there. The knuckle broke, the whole damn thing.
I think. they
So
do
then
a
she
big
speaks
one
in,
this year.
like, who's like,
Um,
I drive by and I'm like, oh, and Devin's trying to tow it
That's a good idea.
backwards.
Yeah, and then Mark Gregg.
Trish is having a hard time
was
steering
talking about,
backwards,
Mark,
you know?
Yeah.
It was just awful. She put it in the bag of full, but
Barbara-
she's just having a hard time steering backwards.
You know,
So
I'm talking about
I pull over, I'm like, you need help. You drive this, I'll
he
take
was talking about
people.
maybe next year doing a barbecue
Well,
cook-off.
Jane Devin had this huge hook on one end, so we had to keep it tight, so I had to ride the brakes the whole way.
And they,
Right.
To his house, and it's just,
Yeah.
we're burning
yeah,
up
and
brakes, it's
he's, and
just.
certainly he belongs to this group that does
I got
this,
the
so.
brakes are almost all the way to the floor at that point because it was just soft and hard.
Right, yeah,
Right.
so, that was.
I get out,
something
I hit the emergency
that
brake,
we found out.
slam it in the park,
Um,
and I jump out and I was like,
So
please don't catch on fire, I don't
Get
get this
them on
today.
right, and
I
we
mean, it
had
was
four
just-
girls running.
I had to change shirts
Just
before I came here,
two
because it was
for
too
the
much shirt.
senior and two for the
Put it in
junior.
front of the drive shaft and help.
And two of the.
I had the emergency brake on.
One is 13.
Which probably
So
just.
they'll be around for
Right.
It's so hot, yeah, well.
That's
Devin's worry now to get it out, so.
On Monday at their meeting,
I'm not
the
gonna.
two of them, 11, the 12-year-old and the 13-year-old have already come back for more buttons. Yeah. So,
I think we're getting
He likes
out of
to
here.
turn around.
yeah. So yeah, I think it's coming, we're worried about those last minute things.
You're always gonna have the last minute things.
Yeah. But I think our meeting is Thursday night at 6:30.
Where do they have that? They have it here, okay.
We're gonna be here.
Have a good night.
All right, Jeff, so are you, still interested in subdividing over there behind me?
Never stick up on
All
that.
right, what is it, price?
As much as I can get.
Of course, you know, and I'm gonna play as least as I can, you know?
You know, I'm in no hurry right now, but
Okay,
keep checking with me.
okay.
You catch me the right day and it's all gone.
It's gonna be like, you got campaign goals. It's cash flow. It's cash flow for
Well,
it.
you know, speaking of that, I'll take a donation.
Yeah, well, this could be like a hybrid donation.
I'll take a donation.
Well, there needs to be some quid pro quo, right? You know?
All right.